It's great to reinforce some of these messages, and you've got some great videos on your website, Dan, talking about different steps to retail wealth. From one particular video, the 12 steps to retail wealth, you talk about going for the win. So why don't you explain that a little bit more for us?
Yeah, we just kind of put a little fun spin on this. And of course, I'm a bit of a sports guy, so it was all about going for the win. What do I need to do to go for a win? But what we really mean in the idea of obtaining retail wealth or becoming this wealthy, winning, and energized, admired, lean, tenacious, and happy environment, it's about creating a win-win environment for you and your partner. And I have to say, there's not enough of us out there that are making our own goods. We need good partnerships. The independent retailer is why Patagonia is what it is today. It's why Canada Goose is one of the most revered outdoor products in the world. It's because of the independent retailer. And this going for the win is about you establishing a win-win relationship with your partner, your vendor, and not shitting on them all the time, but picking up the phone and working together to drive business forward. And in this go for the win, it's about pulling that partner closer to you, not pushing them away. Too many of us, far, far too many of us, blame our vendors for our mistakes, our buying mistake, our merchandising mistakes, our overzealousness. We blame the goddamn vendor, and it's not their fault. We hold the pen. We sign on that dotted line. We make the commitment to sell that product. And we go into these engagements, these buying opportunities completely unprepared and buy purely on emotion, no objectivity. I get revved up and I buy like crazy. And hey, put my hand up, I'm that guy. This guy buys way too much, overexcited, overzealous when it comes to buying. But that comes from a place of not being well prepared. And going for the win means that you're better prepared. You have established your desired key performance indicators, your turn, your margin, your cash flow, your sell-through. All of these metrics are tied together and shared with your vendor to say, hey, this is the expectation. Do you agree? Yeah. We're all on the same page. Okay, now let's execute and measure consistently. If you're not having a conversation every single week is success, every month with your vendor, something is wrong. Today, maybe it is more of a weekly conversation. We're seeing significant supply chain challenge. We're seeing stores today that cannot fulfill their buying requirements. And that's because they don't have good relationships. Not just because they don't have, but the stronger your relationship in a challenged time, the more likely that vendor is to step up with you. Instead of you completely ignoring their phone calls, crapping all over them, complaining about their product. It's not their fault. They're just trying to do their job. Right. It's your responsibility to be a great buyer.
And obviously, you've seen a tremendous enough of this that you can boldly say, like, look, just show a little vulnerability, talk to them about, get out of a position of fear and get into, like, look, this is what's going on. I'm angry, I'm sad, all these emotions. Yep. and more times than not, people will, well, it's not my fault, so what's the closest thing to blame in it? But right. If you go down that different path, would you say, watch and behold what happens when they want to be part of the solution? Because guess what? You're no good dead to them, right?
No.
So they want you to survive.
No. And you know what? You've had Scott Smith has been on our podcast. He's hosted this podcast a couple of times.
He's the best host we ever had.
He's the best host, absolute best host we've ever had. And one of the things that I learned from Scott is the appreciation for our partners. That man has such a well-defined love for his vendor and the vendor relationships that he's fostered for many, many years in retail and in coaching retail. And one of the greatest things, I think I go back to conversations with Scott and I in the early days of Scott and I getting together. It was, his love for vendors. And I was maybe on the other side of the fence. I didn't have that immense love for my vendor. I didn't see them as truly a partner, but rather a vehicle for me to accomplish what I needed to accomplish. And boy, oh boy, the better partners we are to them and they are to us, the easier it is to work through challenging times. And not just challenging times, but the times that deliver great opportunity.
Right. Yeah.